Today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for starting the carnivore diet. Hi, I'm Dr. Rick Godding. I'm a practicing orthopedic surgeon, and I've been transforming my life, my practice, and my health using the principles of metabolic health and the foundations of the ketogenic and carnivore lifestyle beneath it. So, a lot of people have given their tips for their top 5 ways of starting carnivore, and I just thought I would throw mine in there because these are the ones that I did and the ones that I would do if I were doing it again. And it's been quite successful for me. I figure if you're watching this, you're curious about how I did it, either just from pure curiosity because you're a carnivore, or you're really thinking about starting the carnivore diet. So what I would tell you is that these are some great tips that really worked well for me. I haven't seen anybody else talk about these particular ones, certainly not the whole list of 5. So without too much further ado, let's get started. Number 1, set a date. Don't say, I'm going to start the carnivore diet Monday. No. Set an auspicious date. And, for me, it was January 1st. And now that it's late or in the year, you could definitely get geared up. I geared up for weeks and weeks and got ready for it. And I'll tell you how and the things that I did and why I think they were high factors in my success. But set a date. And again, it doesn't have to be your birthday, although that's a great one. It doesn't have to be your anniversary, although that's another great one, especially if you're starting together. But pick a date that's I think the first of the month is a good time because, that's easy to measure after that. First day of spring, I think a calendar date on the first of the month or your own birthday or anniversary are really the best ones. But you want to set it out in the distance. You need a couple of months to get ready. I mean, you really need to mentally prepare. And I just think that having a date, especially a date that's far out into the future, is very helpful. I would say 6 to 8 weeks out in the future. That's when I really got into the idea that I'm going to do this for real. And if you want to know, if you haven't been subscribing to my channel, the reckoning I had is I had metabolic syndrome. First I had sleep apnea, and then I got my CPAP, and I'm sitting there and I find out I have metabolic syndrome. So I've got, on top of metabolic syndrome, sleep apnea, and these are all terribly catastrophic signals that you're just gonna be in very big trouble if things don't change. And that's what got me going. So that's number 1. Pick a date far out into the future and stick with it. Number 2, binge watch success stories. And I can't tell you how helpful that was for me. I binge watched Homestead How and a lot of Dr. Berry, of course, and there's No Carb Life and all these channels, and you can binge watch this Dr. Rick guy. There's not enough of me to really binge watch that long, but anyway, get on there and watch multiple, I would say dozens, if not hundreds. Spend your time, you're driving in your car, put on a story of somebody transforming their life with a carnivore diet. I mean, really get geared up into it, and it will really motivate you. Because I mean, if you just kind of talk to somebody and you thought about it, maybe you saw a video or two, that's one thing. But I mean, you want to get your head in the space that, man, I'm doing this. I'm really going to do this. And I really can't think of any better way than to just absolutely binge watch success stories, because there's so many of them out there. And it'll really help. I really believe it's a very helpful thing. Number 3, tell everybody. Tell people you work with. Tell your family. Tell your friends. Now, some people are going to say, oh man, that's really crazy. Oh, your cholesterol is going to go through the roof. Now, I'm assuming that if you're going to start the carnivore diet, that you've done ample research and you think it's a reasonable thing for you. I mean, number 1, you better like meat, right? But I'm also going to assume if you're going to start the carnivore diet, you've tried all the other things, right? So if you've tried all the other things or enough other things that you're ready to try the carnivore diet, then I think you've done your research. And yeah, there's arguments that, oh, carnivore this and carnivore that, but yeah, but compared to what? Compared to how you're eating now, that's got you obese and sick, if it does. If that's the reason you're starting it. Now, I know people start the carnivore diet for other reasons. I'm really speaking more in this to the people who are starting it for their obesity and obese diabetic or pre-diabetic like I was, those kind of people. But it could really work for anybody. But anyway, tell everybody in your life. Put the pressure on yourself. Pressure, I think I perform well under pressure. This guy. But you know what? Now, 50 pounds down and having absolutely gained muscle, looking and feeling like I'm 35, obviously much more vibrant and excited about life. Everybody's like, well, that looks like that carnivore thing might just be working for Dr. Rick. It is. So tell everybody, get yourself super prepared. And also tell your doctor if you have medical conditions, if you're on a statin or things like that. I don't know. I think if you have a doctor that you trust and you're going to a lot, especially the more medical conditions you have, you want to talk to your doctor about it. I mean, I felt like for me, the upside was way, way better than just sticking where I was. And I didn't want to go on Wegovy. I didn't want to go I didn't want to have, and I wasn't big enough really to have surgery. And so I just did it. But I really would recommend involving your doctor if you do have a lot of health conditions. And, if your doctor's 100% against it, I don't know, maybe you could find another doctor, or maybe you could convince your doctor, or maybe you could have your doctor look at my channel. I don't know. Anyway, number 4, stock up on food. Make it easy. I had food everywhere, and still not as much because I've really gone to, I just eat dinner. I eat a pretty big size dinner, and I'll have a little snack during the day, and that's pretty much all I eat. I'll have a big bowl of ground beef with 3 fried eggs and some grilled shrimp or sauteed shrimp in butter for dinner. Or I might just have a couple boiled eggs and a couple beef sticks for lunch. So for me, I'm always able to get what I need. I can run to the hospital cafeteria and get a couple slices of salami and some cheese and a couple boiled eggs if I need to. But usually I'll have some beef sticks with me, not a lot for lunch, and then I eat a big dinner. Different dinners all the time. I may even put together a little cooking channel because I've got some pretty good ideas and I've been pretty crafty. But anyway, stock up. Try to get weeks and weeks of food in your freezer and cabinets. Yes, you can have food in your cabinets. Beef, nice, individually wrapped beef sticks, things like that. Get it all ready. And that way you're never going to get stuck. Put some in your car. Put some at your workplace. Because you really don't want to get caught really, really hungry and the only thing around is a bag of chips. You will set yourself back a long way. And if you have a setback, just get back on and keep going. But I think if you set yourself up for success by getting food everywhere that it needs to be ready to go, I think you'll really have a lot more success. Number 5, this is the most important one. Fully commit. Don't say, oh, I'm going to try the carnivore diet and, be like, I am fully committed. Even if you're only going to do it for 3 months. I don't think it's worth even doing for a month But if that's how you need to get there mentally, go ahead and try that. But I think that it's much more successful if you say, I'm going to do it for 3 months. My original was I was going to do it for 6 months. That was my original commitment, and I fully committed. I did all the things. You know, I binge watched. I set a date in the future, January 1st of 2024. Then I binge watched all kinds of stuff, great stories, and tried to get into the science of it and all that. I mean, I don't know how many hours I spent listening to and watching YouTube stuff on the carnivore diet and reading scientific papers, all kinds of stuff. But binge watched. And then, you know, I told everybody, like I said, then I stocked up on my food, and then I fully committed. And my original commitment was 6 months. And I was already 35, 40 pounds down at 6 months. I was already feeling great. My blood pressure was already down. My waist size had shrunk. And I did check my labs at 6 months, and my triglycerides were cut almost in half. So I had eliminated my metabolic syndrome. But that's the number one thing, you gotta fully commit. But this was just a brief video, just my 5 tips. You know, leave some comments in the comment section if you have other tips, because you know, the more tips the better. And if you want to leave any Facebook groups or any kind of encouraging different types of internet groups that people can join to help them be encouraged on the carnivore diet, go ahead and do that in the comment section. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the channel. And again, you can do this. You can do this. Give it a go.